Okay guys, I'm going to show you the new thing that we're going to get into. It's going to be 3D artwork. 3D art. And I'm going to show you a little bit about that and how to make some cool 3D objects. So you have to know how to use Pathfinder to start. So I'm going to make sure I have that panel ready to go over here. And I want to have some good swatches ready to go over here. So this is what you do. Basically any object that you draw can be, Illustrator will take it and turn it into something that's three-dimensional. So right now we have a circle, just a plain circle, right? I can take the fill and make it a gradient. And using my gradient tool, I can set it kind of off to the side like this. So it kind of has that appearance of maybe being gray. I can take like a dark gray color and put that up there. Now it looks sort of on the gray side. Or I can make it kind of bluish. Now it looks like a blue marble. So you can use gradients to mimic light, but I can't actually turn this around. Can't actually do anything to it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I take a rectangle tool and I'm going to cut this in half. Notice how I use my smart guides. So I move the mouse over, that green line shows up, I know where to click, I know exactly at the halfway point. Use my Pathfinder to minus front, and now I have a half circle, right? Okay, there's a command in Illustrator that will revolve this all the way around. It will take this object and literally make slices and make it go all the way around until it meets itself, which essentially will make a sphere. So to do that, I'm going to go up to, look at all these commands up here, I'm going to go to Effect. And since I'm going to use an effect, I also want to make sure I have my appearance panel handy. 3D, and I want to go to Revolve. Now what that does is going to make this revolve. Now you might be thinking, that's not a sphere, Mr. S. Well, that's because I have it on the left edge. See right here it says left edge? It's revolving on this side and going around this way. If I make it say right edge, it will become a sphere. And not only a sphere, but a sphere that I can rotate with this graphic interface tool right here. I can spin it around that way. I can spin this up this way. I can move this back down and around. Or there are some presets. I can say, I want to see only the back. Or I only want to see the front. Or I want to see it off-axis front. You know, whatever. So that seems to work okay. We'll do that. And I'm going to hit OK. So now I have this object that is looking like a little 3D marble kind of thing. Now let's say I wanted to make something like, let me shrink this down a little bit. Let's say I wanted to make something like a chess piece. Okay. So what I need is a collar around this. So I can go to my ellipse tool. I can take this and make it line up. There it is. So it's lined up with the very center of this object. Move it up a little bit. And there's a couple of choices here. I could, I'll show you both of them. I could take this object and cut it in half with Pathfinder. And then take this object and do a 3D revolve. Again, that's the left edge. See what it looks like on the right edge. It's going to look more like a disc, right? More disc shaped. So I can bend it to be, you know, whatever. So I could do that, or I could take this object and go to this other one called Extrude and Bevel. And what Extrude and Bevel is going to do is it's going to make it pop outward like that. And I would just rotate it until it got to something I wanted, like that. And I could change the extrude depth if I don't want it to be 50. I can make it like 19, it'll be a lot thinner. I can make it into a huge column if I wanted to. I would probably choose around like the 19 mark. That seemed to look pretty good. And then you just kind of rotate this around. And you can tweak things. You know, if you want this to be 0, you want that to be 0 on the XY axis. You can want this to be a little bit more, like maybe 66. So you can see the difference between each one of these. Now that blue may be kind of hard to see, so I'm going to change my colors. It's a little bit easier to see. Yeah, orange. Alright, so you can see this object, and you can see this object, and you can play with them. Now if you want to adjust it later, you got to go to the Appearance panel, click on your 3D Revolve, and you can play with this a little bit more. Now see, it's a little bit off angle. It's lower down here and higher up here. That's because that's at 4 degrees. I can make that be 0 degrees, then it will be, well, it should be relatively flat. There we go. So I'm going to go with this one. Put it up here, and I will send it to the back. Here we go. Don't want this one anymore. Now we can make a body for him. So the body is really going to be nothing more than a rectangle that I'm going to chew parts off of it. I'm going to take some chunks off. So maybe I'll take out like about that much, and I'll minus front. Then maybe I want to keep that one there, and I'll do like a little bit of a longer, flary kind of. There we go. Move this out some. Maybe move this out some. Yeah, something like that. There we go. Alright, and then I'll grab both of these and minus front again. So now I got this shape right here. Maybe I want this to be a little bit wider at the base. So I'm going to take actually a rounded rectangle tool and add a little bit of a longer base there, so the dang thing doesn't fall over. And I'll grab these two and I'll unite them. There. So now I have this shape. Now I can revolve it on the right side. On the right edge, and now I have a base. All it does is just revolves it, and yeah, pretty amazing, I know. It's pretty darn cool. Since this is dead on, you might want to remember your numbers. There. Since this one was dead on, this one should be the same. You can change these. If you change one, though, change them all. So if I make that 8, oh, sorry, minus 8, 0, that's fine. But if that's minus 8, then that means I have to go to this one and do the same thing. 0, minus 8. The sphere doesn't matter, but these, it matters. Alright, get that up to where it's about even, and I'll send it to the back. There you have it, and there you are. Now you have a little chest piece. Now I can make this base bigger if I wanted to. If anyone can think of how I might do that. If I wanted to edit this shape itself, not hard to do at all. I'm just going to turn the 3D Revolve off, and then maybe I'll add just a little bit more of a base. Make it a little bit thicker. Blend them together. And now look at what happens to my 3D. It went away, so I'm going to have to redo it. 3D Revolve. I'm going to remember I want -8. So these numbers on all the axes matters. Left edge and right edge matters. Definitely matters. Okay, object arrange, send to back, and there it is. All done. Make it blue maybe, because we're the Blue Devils. There, isn't that lovely? And now you have a chess piece. And you can align these to make sure they're totally aligned up. I'm going to align them on the left side because it's just seeing the shapes as this. This is just like a fake appearance. This is what it's paying attention to. So I want them to align up on the right-hand side. There. That's it. Now you guys go make one.